Yeah. The way I did it was starting around 34 was the hard sign. I did it.
Are you right-handed?
That's classic.
No. No, because
Which is the equivalent of 3.
So you just took out this. I checked it really didn't work.
so we're root 16
I'm not
minus
sure. I did.
whatever's
And this is wrong. Oh, what's wrong? Chain rule. What do I have to do?
times 4.
Divide by the derivative of the stuff inside, which the derivative of stuff inside is 1/4. Divided by 1/4 is multiplying by 4. So 3 arc sine x over n plus theta. Okay? And the sample quizzes you guys were given yesterday, who did not get one from yesterday? Zach?
I wasn't here, but I did them online.
Okay, so you have them?
It's gonna take like 10 minutes.
So, these quizzes, the third one on there, again, that was Mr. Orlando angry because Tennessee lost to Florida in the football. Whenever that happened, I was like, oh, sorry, y'all, your test will be so hard. Like, this is a little bit of a challenge. Factor the 9 out so you can recognize arctan. This one is much more of a challenge because factoring out of a square root is hard. Yeah.
Was it chain rule?
Okay, so you're okay with all that translation, right? So it's 3/4, and then this is the pattern of arc sine of stuff. When I did the derivative of arc sine of stuff, didn't I have to multiply by the derivative of stuff? So when I undo that, I need to divide by the derivative of stuff. So what is the derivative of x over 4? Coefficient, 1/4. So divided by 1/4 is multiplying by 4. So this one is harder because it's factoring out of the square root, recognizing that it's arc sine, and remembering chain rule. Okay?
Yeah.
Question, Ben?
Yes, it is.
Delta math, evidently the way they show it is like, memorize this. Don't do that. Don't memorize. Just, like, to me, I'm gonna force it to fit the sign pattern that I know and go from there.
Yeah.
And I have some control over what Delta math gives you. You weren't supposed to get secant and cosecant, I'm sure I could stop those. Okay, because you're not responsible for secant, arcsecant, and arccosecant.
Quick question. Is the derivative of cotangent cosecant squared?
Is the derivative of cotangent cosecant squared? Close.
Negative. Okay.
Okay.
Just so I'm able to do number 5.
Try these and I'll give you guys a few minutes, but I'm going to have each group come up and put up. So you're pretty close to the board. Bring your glasses.
No, I just,
Want the CBS special? They don't do much.
no, I have contacts, just I forgot what's on it.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's not good. Pi over 12 times 2 is pi over 6. Sine of pi over 6 is 1/2. Square root of 1/2 is 1/4. Minus 3/2. Minus, I think it's -2. Minus 6. 7/4. 7/4.
7/4.
Negative. Nope, negative 9/4. She's right. Yeah, she's right. So when you plug it back in, so this is 1/4 minus 9/4 is -2. Plug in pi over 6, 1/2. Square root of that is 1/4. 1/4 minus 9/4 is -2. She's right.
Sorry. Okay.
This is -2.
Yep.
So 4 divided
And they did it wrong.
Let's go with 3 of spades.
Group 3.
I know why you guys like sleep on
Step 1.
Is -2 squared?
Why are you squaring -2? Wait, what?
You're not integrating.
I just made it wide.
Yeah, you got 1 squared over 2.
I know, I did wrong.
Cancel out the 2.
Yeah, so then -2 squared is 4. 4
Okay, that's it.
I was on my track.
Okay, unconventional having the DUI first and the DX first, but alright.
Oh, sorry.
It's awkward. It's like
It's the
saying
same
X2.
thing.
Group 4.
I mean, so that's 1/2.
Okay.
Minus.
You guys, next step.
It's -1 plus 8 over
Okay, so in the land of grading these, AP exam, these are expensive. On your quiz tomorrow, these are expensive. This is like
You
5
probably want to
points
get
out
wide
of
by
20.
itself.
First point, just got. So group 4, next step.
Kids eat 1/2 hours. Good, but you shouldn't.
Okay? Group 9.
We're here.
Keep going, yeah. Okay, and again, AP exam, sometimes going from pink to blue, sometimes it's 2 points, because integrating each side
Going
is a
from pink to
challenge.
blue is 2 points.
Sorry?
Going from pink to blue is 2 points.
Sometimes. This one, too easy. You gotta use the.
Oh, my bad.
Oh.
So, doing this, you plugged in the coordinate?
I feel like I would simplify it
Is that not,
further.
is that not 2?
I feel like I'd simplify
Okay,
it way further.
there's some contention that there was a mistake. What are you guys saying, Nadia?
It's 2.
-2 squared is 4 over, okay? And then putting in the pi over 12, that's pi, sine of pi over 6 over 2 plus c, okay? Group 6, Emmett and company. You need to do the next step, whatever that step is. Preferably today.
You have to get up and write. You want to bring them? We need a no, that's right. That's right. Oh, that's right. They didn't get rid of that. Yes. Oh, they didn't get rid of it.
Thank you. No, I mean, I think.
Is it, what's it? Sure. Yes. No, it's two. Wait, no, it's a two. No,
Two, it's a
They
two.
wrote it as a
It's a two.
Oh, you
It's a
said
two.
two? Oh.
8 over 4. 8 over 4 minus 1 over 4 is 7. 7 over 4. Wait, 8 over
I just do one.
Yeah, I'm not cool with that.
You might want to look and see is.
I'm going.
What? 7 over 4? Oh my god, yeah.
Wait, what if he? Yeah, back to. Never mind, you're right, you're right.
Damn it, let's try this again. Well, that's not.
That was the problem.
This has to be 6 now. Could you have multiplied by 2 for the y squares the other side? Okay, well.
No, because you have to 2C.
Okay, so choosing to plug in the initial value here, it takes there's a feel for it. This one, I probably wouldn't have plugged in yet. It's not wrong to do that, but it might make this stuff harder. So plug it in. He solved sine of pi over 6 is a half, and a half divided by 2 is a quarter. 2 minus a quarter is 8/4 minus 1/4 is 7/4, so I agree that C is that. Here, if I just randomly multiply everybody by 2, and I am not going to multiply C because I don't have to yet, but if I plug in that coordinate now, negative 2 squared equals sine of pi over 6.
Should not, you shouldn't square root the y, because that'll be like a plus or minus.
Okay. Hold that thought. Yes.
7 over 2. On the left side, that combination.
7 over
2.
So I got a different C value. I got half of, or double this one, because I didn't multiply the C. This one they did. Okay, so we're not gonna follow this path though, we're gonna follow the one that got started.
Wait, Ms. Fresco?
Yep.
So is it usually recommended that you fully simplify first and then plug in, or does it really?
There is no recommendation.
It's just-
There's a feel for it, and I wouldn't have plugged in yet because there's a mess still. Yeah. Okay, we're not done, so we'll see in the end. Dave Hart. Group 10. That's you guys. No? That's you guys, Caden and Alex. Group 10. What's the next
Should we
step?
just continue this, even if we didn't finish it that way?
Yeah.
Or just be a plug C back in and keep solving?
Wait, so did they multiply by 2 on both sides or minus?
Yeah, you did. I did this, I got that one. Thought I did.
You're at the blue step right now. So you
No, right now.
Are we still back? Are we
yeah,
still
yeah,
here?
you're at the blue step, so we're putting 7 over.
Oh, yeah. 7 over 4. And multiply both sides by 2, you're gonna get y squared. Equivalent to sine. 2x.
Okay, that's mildly legible. So, group 8, Caden, plug this C value back up here, and then multiplied everything by 2, and yes, he now needed to multiply the thing that used to be c. What do we do? Okay, when we put in the square root,
Plus or minus.
we need to do plus or minus. So square rooting both sides, we are not done. I wanted the particular solution, the exact solution, the one and only solution. He gave me 2. So, group 5.
Yes, so we chose the negative one
Why?
because the answer, the y value of the original initial given value is negative, and if you were to take the square root and not put a negative outcome, it can't be negative. So.
Okay, so the reasoning. Yes. So you need to remember there's a plus or minus here, and then think about what was the solution they were looking for. So in how the grading rubric for these generally go, there are 5 points on a free response question on the AP exam, 1 point to separate, 1 point to integrate, sometimes 2 if the integration on both sides is complicated. And you get no more points if you forget plus C, because the whole point was plug that initial value in and solve for C. If it's not there, you don't get the rest of the points for the work that you can't show. Then a point for somewhere along the line plugging in this value and then going back, getting your equation and then correctly solving for the one and only y value. Okay, so this is generally 5 points. It's a lot of points. All right, try it again. So groups 1, 2, and 7, you guys are up next. Yeah.
Is that gonna, okay, did you integrate y over 1? Oh, you
Oh, I
You gotta use the butt of the pen. You gotta use the butt of the pen. I realize it doesn't make sense, but that, welcome to BCC. Oh, so you don't have enough space for that big.
I just did my addition wrong somehow.
I was like, wait, so the derivative ln.
Okay.
Seven,
you're next.
Put us up there.
Plus 8 here.
Plus or minus.
It's not sacrificing, it's
Forgot plus.
Yeah, that's all
I know, just that little. Yeah. You guys get the next step. Okay. So step one, separate the variables, 1 point for the orange. And then the integration step, you don't get a point for doing the, oh, it doesn't work that way.
It's not like that.
There you go. Integrating the polynomials here in terms of
C equals ln 3 minus c.
Oh, wait.
Oh no, c is ln 3 minus c.
Yeah, because if it's just.
Okay, guys, the absolute value bars have to stay. So, and now you're all back in the mix again. For who has to figure out and show us how to get out of this? Go ahead and take a 5. 4. Four, I guess.
No, we're 9. Yeah.
See what? It might be gross. Okay, hang on. So group 4. Okay, if I tell you absolute value of A is 3, what do you know about A?
Plus or minus 3.
Either A is what you need it to be, or A is the opposite of that. So with that, can one of you get up and show us how we get rid of those bars? We're going to create 2 branches. So just like square root, when Zach put in the square root, he got plus or minus, and then there was another step of Sebastian explaining which branch we take. So we never solved for C, that's right. I was letting you guys choose. Yeah, we need to solve for C. So the coordinate that we're plugging in is -2, -3. So plugged in, all right. Okay, what about? Okay, so here's an alternate path now. If you plug in the coordinate up here in pink, you need to then take your ln absolute value of y equals x cubed plus all of this gross business. That's your C value. The C value here, we need to do some work. Okay, so here it might have been easier to plug in, but we solved for y, absolute value of y actually.
Can't you just do A1 to
Will,
You need to add for value bars instead.
well, yeah, it'd be like you're part of the group, so
What?
I'm taking the
Can't
hit too.
you, who left side? Your L.
Yeah, I mean, but that's.
So from
it's going a
here,
step
what do we do?
backwards. So you can just do, you just do it a step backwards. I mean, you should go backwards. Yeah, I mean, like, you just do it when it's purple.
What?
Like the.
Okay, so we needed to go back and do natural log to get things, and we get C is, we don't need the absolute value bars, but we get the same thing that Eliana went back to do. All right, so our paths came back together. Oops. So we're here. Plugging back in, whichever case, we're here. So.
Cancel out.
So close, we just need Y. Oh, you gotta use the other end of the pen. It's not yeah, I know.
So if you just do the negative, it'll all cancel out to y equals -3. Literally like, what?
Okay, so one thing, the absolute value bars were there, they're still there. No absolute value bars there because the absolute value of 3 is just 3. Okay. Yeah.
Would you get twice taken off that you kept, like, you kept the absolute value bars and sometimes?
Not immediately. Who's next? Because we still don't have like Y. 3. Group 3. That's you guys. And remember, the hint was up here. You can use your finger or the pen.
It's like your top school. It's like your top school.
Something like UVA, like Georgia Tech. But yesterday I went to Tennessee.
So to get rid of absolute value bars, we needed to create 2 equations. Either Y is
How about you?
negative e to all this stuff, or positive e to all this stuff.
I remember you talking about this.
So I'm in group 5.
It's the negative one.
Yeah, is it positive or negative? Negative, because again, the Y value here was negative. All right, longest problem ever. And you know what? It's still not quite done. What were you gonna say?
So would you have to show the work to get the 2 things, like, or do you want us to just write out the negative?
Okay, so the CAP grader, I haven't seen all of these things. Sometimes in the grading rubric that they give me, it says they must show they considered the options. And sometimes they're like, I don't care, it's hard enough, we'll leave it be.
What should we do?
Yeah,
Like
well,
just write it and cross it out?
Yeah,
Okay.
So
so
we should write it, okay.
if it comes up, showing that you considered the other side and throwing it out, that is covering all bases. And sometimes, like, if it was a normal one, like these 2 examples that I brought up, I wanted you to see, when you do square root, you get plus or minus. It creates 2 paths and you gotta pick. getting rid of the absolute value bars, which we don't teach anywhere in the curriculum, you need to know what to do. Aubrey?
Oh, wait,
Okay, but I wanna show you one other thing. If this was somehow, like, if this is the answer you got and you needed to pick the absolute, or multiple choice, they're not gonna write it like this.
Are they gonna write like 8 negative or something, or like some like weird, yeah.
It will look like that. And again, this, you could, but they'll write it like this, like, given the stuff in red, that's how it's gonna boil down. On a free response, it's right there, it's right here, it's right if you wanna pull them all apart, as long as you do it correctly, don't put plus signs, they are multiplication down below. But you need to recognize that you can change that. Question? Okay, were there questions on any of the practice quizzes? Six? How do I get a Greek to stay on the other side, on the left? Make it secant squared. Do I have to put plus c with the y's? No, because it's already taken care of. Those of you who are confused by this, the collective said 1 over cosine squared is secant squared, whose derivative is secant squared tangent. So right here, to me, I see, as this is right now, I want to plug in the coordinate here versus solving for y. Because I'm going to have to undo arctan to get c out again. So right here, I'm going to plug in this.
Check my work.
What is tangent of pi over 4?
Should do that.
And
Check your work.
For sure. Go
so
with the
c
curve.
is -1.
Get the 0 and make the curve. That's what everyone should do. Oh,
Tomorrow.
you know, like mess up, like if secant squared x is the